welcome to our Northborough School Committee meeting. Current time is 6:31, and I'm calling the meeting into session. We are going to start with our public hearing of the fiscal, did I say it was March 6th? I don't think I did, but it's March 6th tonight. We're going to start with our public hearing of the fiscal year 25 budget.
All right, so a long journey to get to this point this evening, and just want to thank all those involved in preparing the FY25 budget. Thank the school committee for its guidance and its input and feedback. And this evening is the milestone of having the public hearing. So Becky Pellegrino, the Director of Finance, will be holding that hearing and will be reading the budget into record, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
So, good evening. The Northborough School Committee is committed to providing an exceptional educational experience for all students in a cost-effective manner. The district believes that strong partnerships with parents, the community, and the town government are essential in developing a fiscally responsible and educationally sound budget. The school leadership team and the committee utilize its budget priorities, the strategic objectives outlined in the district's strategic plan, Vision 2026, and the mission and vision of the district as guiding principles throughout the budget process to develop a budget that supports an exceptional education of all students. Copies of the fiscal year 2025 school committee voted and approved line item budget are available online, at the central office, and at Northborough town offices. I will be providing a total of the FY 2025 budget subcategories by function classification as part of the public hearing process. So for regular education, function classification administration, which is the series 1000, this includes the school committee, superintendent's office, assistant superintendent, district-wide administration, business and finance, human resources, legal services, and administrative technology. This classification totals $881,530. Function classification instruction, which is the series 2000. This includes department heads, instructional tech leadership and training, principal's office, team leaders at the building level, administrative tech and support, teacher salaries, teacher specialists, substitutes, both long and short term, instructional assistants, librarians and media center, professional development for leadership, teacher, staff, as well as substitutes associated with PD, tuition reimbursement, textbooks, instructional materials, other instructional materials, instructional equipment, general supplies, other instructional services, instructional hardware, other instructional hardware, instructional software, and guidance services. This series totals $15,533,581. Function classification, other student services. This is the series 3000. This includes attendance services, health services, transportation activities, athletics, and student activities. This fund totals $1,200,815. Function classification operations and maintenance of buildings, the series 4000. This is custodial salaries, custodial supplies, heating, electricity, telephone, gas and gasoline, water, maintenance of grounds, buildings, and equipment, tech infrastructure maintenance and support, which is for both salaries and also other. This series totals $1,972,818, and function classification fixed charges, which is the series 5000. This includes employee separation costs and rental and leases. This totals $47,588. Our total regular day programs for the FY25 budget is $19,636,332, or a 5.56% increase over fiscal year 24. For special education, function classification administration, which is the series 1000, This includes legal services and administrative technology. This totals $39,800. Function classification instruction, or the Series 2000, includes supervision, team leaders, teaching, medical and therapeutic specialists, professional development, instructional technology, and psychological services. This totals $8,163,130. The function classification other student services, the Series 3000. This includes health services and transportation. This totals $659,087. Function classification operation and maintenance of buildings, or the 4000 series. This is maintenance of equipment for special education. This totals $5,200. Function classification fixed charges, 5000 series. This is rentals and leases, and this totals $2,118. And then finally, function classification programs at non-public schools, or the 9000 series. This is for tuition out and tuition out collaboratives. This totals $613,930 for a total special education budget of $9,483,265, or a 0.90% increase over FY24. The total fiscal year 2025 operational budget is $29,119,597, and this represents an overall increase of $1,118,370, or 3.99%.
Great, thank you so much.
I think it's perfect that we have the Melican
You
math
do the
team.
math.
A lot of questions.
Do we open it up
Any questions?
to any questions, not only amongst us, but amongst the audience as well? Joan?
No, I have no questions.
Oh, okay, I thought I heard a ding.
I did, but I don't know.
Oh, okay, I was like, I thought I heard a ding. Does anybody have any questions, things? We have a full audience member. I will open, kids, if you have a question too, you are welcome to. I will gladly open if anybody has a question about the budgets or anything. No? They're like, we just want to move on to us. Okay, so seeing no, one other thing I forgot to state is that we will be doing roll call votes because Joan Frank is virtual tonight. So, seeing no questions, seeing no discussion, I will close the open meeting and we will move on to
Just the budget hearing.
the budget, the pub,
Just close the public
Close the
hearing.
public hearing.
close the public hearing. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so the public hearing is closed. Moving on to our agenda, we have audience sharing. Does anybody have anything to share? No? Okay, moving right along. Recognition of Melican Middle School math team. Do we
So this
have-
evening, we have Principal Carb, who will introduce the Melican math team, also known as M²T. And we'll be able to hear some of the successful outcomes of the math team and more about what the math team works on and hopes to accomplish. So Principal Carb.
I'd love to hear the grades and everything. Can they say their names
They
too?
will.
Would you?
I'm actually going to just
Can
go
I-
to the
can
team
I-
and thank them all for coming. I
can't see
appreciate the
that.
extra time, and thank you to the committee and to central office for supporting this wonderful group. Our volunteers, our coaches are volunteers, and they put in a lot of time. And you can see we have a lot of excitement here, and there have been some wonderful accomplishments. But rather than hear from me, I think I should turn things over to our coaches. They can introduce themselves and the team and highlight some of the accomplishments from the year.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us, by the way. We really appreciate the recognition and opportunity. I am Nilanjan Khalid. My daughter used to go to school. She's in high school now in Algonquin, 9th grade. So this is our third year doing it. Me and Raghu. Yeah, and so we have, as you can see, we have a ragtag group of about 10 to 12 students who show up every week, very enthusiastic. They're always jostling to go to the board. That's how we learn concepts. We learn concepts from everything: arithmetic, algebra, number theory, trigonometry, whatever it takes. And we go to a whole bunch of math competitions, and we've done pretty well. We won the IMLM, which is the Intermediate Mathematics League. We won against 3 other schools recently, the meet number 4. And our probably a bigger accomplishment is for the second year in a row, we went to the Math Counts chapter meet, and we beat out 8 other schools and won it. And this is one of our first place awards for the coach. And this is the second year in a row, so last year we won it too. And kids, you can show your trophies. And so yeah, and we just, this Saturday, we went to the state meet because we won that. And we had 5 of our kids qualify actually to go to the state meet. And so we won, and we went there, and one of our kids ranked in the top 25, Leo. And yeah, and that's it.
I was going to say, next year we will go to national, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. You want to quickly, guys, state your name and your grade, and maybe show your trophy as you go along, if you have one. Go ahead, Brady.
Oh, I'm Brady.
What grade are you in,
What
Brady?
grade?
8th grade.
Nice.
Aditya.
My name is Aditya Day, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Gautam Sava. I'm really interested in maths, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Nimrod Jain, first place trophy. My name is Shinivasa Makaram, I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Arlen Soren, and I'm in 7th grade. My name is Sarvaj Prasad, in 8th grade. My name is Samir Shalur, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Ashni Desai, I'm in maths, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Dhruv Madhav, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Ryan Gupta, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Kara Tanwani, and I'm in 6th grade.
Do you all want to be mathematicians when you're go into math fields, do you think? Yeah.
Now, Joe.
Joan?
Yeah.
You should all go to STEM field.
Yes, this, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
And there are a bunch of 8th graders, so as they move on to high school, hopefully they'll go there and they'll get new blood into the team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
great.
I'm really hoping for new 6th graders and 7th graders.
Do you have a maximum number of people that can be on your team?
Not
Or-
at this
Not for the club. I mean, this is
Okay.
our math club. that
Okay.
We have every Thursday we meet. And
For the emblem, right, the intermediate athlete, we have a team of 10.
Okay.
You could take another 10 and alternate if you wanted to, or you could have sent 2 days if you wanted to.
yeah, if we had enough people.
And then for math counts, we've been sending about 6 students to chapter meet. We could increase that, of course,
Okay,
it's beginning of the year planning.
Yeah.
great. We have a little owl here, a little speaker, and that's Joan. She's remote. So it's our
Joan.
5th committee member. So our owl's Joan. So Joan, do you have anything
She's
to say?
waving to you, because I can see her here. She's waving to you.
I'd just like to give my congratulations to the students that are present tonight, and if any aren't, on their placement on the chapter meets, the state meets, and even the student who was in the top 25. And especially to the parents who helped to support, along with the team leaders, the adults who are helping to help them in their quest for excellence in mathematics. My question was, is this an open enrollment? And most of the students who were speaking were 7th and 8th graders. Is this also open to 5th and 6th grade?
So, an excellent question. It is open enrollment. Anybody we can join. We are looking for 6th graders. So, yes, and 5th graders, if they want to come from, I guess Jen is over there, from Lincoln down the street on Thursdays, we are always welcoming. We have any number of students, the more the merrier. So, we are happy to teach math to anybody who wants.
So you do have an open enrollment, because I know many people watch this video, and I think it will spike an interest in some people that want to join this.
Yes.
Parents may want to get their kids. And when do you meet?
Well, Thursdays after school, so that is like 2:15. Yep.
Okay.
Joan, are you interested
Thank
in
you.
joining?
She's the next member.
Well, I wasn't moving
Her
out
face
data,
said
so I think my math skills may be a little rusty at this point. But thank you very much, and thank you to the students. Wonderful representation. Thank you.
So I also want to thank the coaches and the volunteers for taking the time to help students kind of pursue their passion. And for the students, I just want to thank you for your hard work and your passion around mathematics. The language of mathematics, as you know, is such an important language to learn and understand. It really helps us understand the world around us and so many careers. And whatever you choose to endeavor in the future, mathematics is such an important piece of being career ready. And also, I hope and probably would imagine that one of the outcomes of being on the math team is friendship, working together, collaboration, critical thinking, and that's really important. So I want to thank you for that work. And for those of you who are 8th graders, continue this work at the Algonquin Regional High School. We have a strong math department, strong math team, so that's important. And then recruit. So get those 6th graders, those 5th graders. If you have friends, say this is a lot of fun. This is important. Make sure you have the hardware. Your trophies. Maybe you can carry those around. Maybe you can wear them around your neck one day and see if you can get more members to join. So congratulations. Thank you for your hard work and thank you for your time and effort.
Very well.
Thank you
It's-
so much.
we have to absolutely enjoy the kids. So.
Thank you so much.
Awesome job. Thank you.
Congratulations again.
And you're more than welcome to stay for the entire meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Public meeting.
That was a good way of getting it.
Yeah.
They have to get home and practice their math, I'm sure. All right, my computer just froze. Turn it back on. I do, yep, I got it here. Alrighty, I was just gonna give it a second to quiet down a little bit. Principal Bell is gonna come up and do your report. If you wanna come up while they're transitioning, you can. I don't think there's a microphone over there. You can sit over near Becky if you're.
There you go. Now you're official.
It's up to you if you wanna come sit next to him. You're welcome to.
You. One last transition.
One less transition time.
All right, we ready? All right, so I'm here to do the principal report for the week. So I'm going to start with Lincoln Street. The Lincoln Street School Polar Bears partner with the community by donating 3 carloads of food to the food pantry during the annual Super Bowl food drive. The week leading up to February break, the Lincoln Street community enjoyed a week-long celebration of kindness and love. Students in the kindness crew designed and delivered kindness-themed Valentine's cards to bus drivers, cafeteria workers, administrative assistants, nurses, and custodians. The student council created a kindness theme for each day of the week and incorporated SEL components. And on Friendship Friday, they encouraged students to sit with someone new at lunch, including students in a different grade. The past week, Lincoln Street School collaborated with Algonquin Regional High School students in the Adams Club for an after-school STEM activity that promoted collaboration and hands-on learning for the students. To celebrate Read Across Northborough, Mrs. King organized for Lincoln Street School alumni to come and read to the classrooms. It was a joyous reunion for many of the staff, and SEL Day is on Friday, and the SEL leaders have created activities and read-alouds for the classroom teachers that focus on what it's like in someone else's shoes. Coming up on March 14th, the 4th graders, under the guidance of the music and library teachers, will perform Rainbow Land for the lower wing students. In the Lincoln Street PTO news, the PTO partnered with a new bookstore, Higgy House, for the book fair this month. Students, staff, and families shared positive reviews and feedback about the inclusive selections, themes, and topics. Up next for the PTO is the time-honored tradition of Bingo Night on March 12th. A big thank you to the Lincoln Street School staff for a delicious luncheon on the Parent Guardian Conference Day this week. At Proctor, February was a short and busy month for the Proctor Penguins, filled with exciting events and celebrations. The month began with the 5th grade field trip to the Challenger Center in Framingham. The 5th grade students put in tremendous effort the fifth grade teachers put in a tremendous effort to organize this experience for the students, and they extend their gratitude to the Proctor PTO for their generous funding of the buses and providing scholarships, ensuring that all students could participate in this educational opportunity. Continuing the positive momentum, Proctor School celebrated Kindness Week, themed Spread Kindness Like Confetti. Throughout the week, they hosted several events to recognize and celebrate daily acts of kindness. Students and faculty participated in recognizing daily acts of kindness by writing them on pieces of confetti and posting them to the Kindness Bulletin Board. The week culminated in a kindness scavenger hunt led by the Castle students and the 5th grade Spirit Committee. Last Friday, they leapt into a good book for the Proctor Readathon, which is a fun-filled day of all things related to the joy of reading. A special thank you to the efforts of Mrs. Bailey and the PTO for helping organize this event. They welcomed community mystery readers and hosted both in-person and virtual author visits, which helped to foster the love of reading within the school community and provided a fun day of unplugging. It wouldn't be a Proctor School Monthly Update if they left Gigi out, their special ST Math penguin friend who continues to motivate the students with the work on the ST Math puzzles. By the end of February, Proctor School achieved an impressive 80% puzzle completion in ST Math. The teachers actively participated in a follow-up ST Math training where they learned new ways to interpret and analyze their students' data in order to target instruction to meet individual student needs. They're gearing up for their ST Math March Mathness Challenge this month. A special thank you to the ST Math champion, Mrs. Iana Coney, for organizing this event. At Peaslee, parent-teacher conferences on Monday were a success. District-wide, we believe communication and dialogue between home and school are essential to ensuring that all students are reaching their potential. Thank you to our families for partnering with us to support the growth of our students this month and all year long. All staff attended an enriching day of learning on Tuesday, March 5th for a professional development day. A wide variety of excellent opportunities were provided for staff to choose from. There are many people to thank for their help in orchestrating the day. We would like to specifically thank the PD committee, Stephanie Reinhorn, and Nancy Bissett for their help in planning this successful day. At Peaslee, the PTO has organized a school-wide readathon, which began on March 6th as part of National Reading Month. On March 11th, they're excited to welcome back the ARHS guest readers to every classroom. Also, they will celebrate by hosting families as a guest reader in the library during March 18th to 22nd. A link to sign up has been posted in Parent Square, and they're very appreciative of the Northborough Education Foundation for the grant and funding support of the ARHS visitors. Teachers are busy planning the details of the SEL Day on March 8th. Thank you to the SEL leadership for their help with this wonderful celebration. They have several upcoming PTO and school-supported enrichment activities this month. Mrs. Katrina Whalen, the music teacher, has organized a K-2 performance with Luann Crosby, children's singer. Mrs. Donis and Ms. Keefe, the 5th grade teachers, will visit the Algonquin AP Government students for a student-led presentation. 5th grade parent guardian will attend an orientation at Milliken Middle School on March 21st from 6:30 to 7:30 in the Milliken Teaching Center. Northborough children's book author Arthur Larcara will visit grades 4 and 5, and grade 5 will host a bingo night at Peaslee School on March 22nd from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. And finally, the Channel 5 meteorologist will visit students in grade 3 to do a presentation on weather. At Z, on February 10th, a handful of 5th graders from each of the Northborough elementary schools joined together to perform the national anthem and God Bless America for the Railers versus Mariners hockey game. The students represented our schools extremely well and sang wonderfully under the direction of Mr. Arnold, Miss Burns, and Mrs. Whalen. Thank you to all of our families who participated. The music teachers hope to coordinate one more all-town chorus event before the end of the year. Next Thursday, the Playful Engineers will visit the Z School. This is a STEM enrichment program paid for by the PTO and the Northborough Cultural Council to celebrate Pi Day. Students will be working collaboratively in teams to build Rube Goldberg devices using a variety of materials. Next week is also the start of Project Adventure. The gym will be transformed into a climbing and ropes obstacle course. This is always a highlight of the Z students' physical education experience, and a huge thank you to Mrs. DeSimone for organizing this unit and to all the parents that volunteer to make it happen. At Milliken, the annual Jazz Day and Night took place on February 14th. Jazz musicians Music educators and Melican parent Brian Koenig held clinics with the musicians during the day and played with them during the wonderful evening concert. 17 of our musicians were selected for the Central District Massachusetts Music Education Association Junior Districts. 6 of the students will be playing first chair on their instruments at the festival, and Melican makes up a quarter of the district jazz band. Auditions took place in February, and rehearsals and a concert for junior districts will take place in April. Middle school is a time of several transitions. We are working on transitioning our current 5th graders and families to 6th grade, and we're working to transition our current 8th graders to 9th grade. As a part of the 5th to 6th grade transition, they're holding their 5th grade parent night on Thursday, March 21st. Unified basketball season is underway. The team has had 2 practices so far and has had its first game at home against Shrewsbury on March 13th, and in parent-teacher conferences will take place tomorrow. We have a grade 7 fun night scheduled for Friday night, and this event is sponsored by the PTO. And that's all the wonderful stuff happening in Northborough.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Question, Project Adventure, is it only for 1 week?
So we do it, I think it's about 6 weeks they do it for. So it starts on Monday and it goes right up until April break.
Oh, wow. So it's
Yep.
long.
And the students progress as they go. So the first week they kind of stay down low and they work their way up each week as they go to their PE classes.
That's
So
great.
it's fun to watch the progression as they go.
And I think last year you opened it up for other schools to come. I
Yes,
don't
we're
know.
planning a community climb. I'm not sure the date for it yet. It'll be a fundraiser for our 5th graders for their end of the year stuff that they do. But yes, we'll send out communication once we have that date set.
That'll be great.
Yep.
And then the Unified Games, is that open for anybody can attend the game? Do you know?
Yes.
Oh, so anybody can attend the Unified Game?
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Yes,
Awesome.
and It's a joint team. We started it when I was, you know who we
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
it's a nice community event, and at the end, they have a jamboree, and it's about 8 schools, and they have a big tournament, and they rotate to different middle schools where they have it. It's wonderful.
Spectators are welcome.
Spectators are welcome. That's what.
Spectators are welcome.
Awesome.
Or
Great.
fans.
Yeah. Well, we made the PTO helped make uniforms for them, so they added the word unified to the existing basketball shirts they had. So it's exciting. So. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? No. Good. All right.
Thank you.
Moving on to
Hi.
PTO.
Hi. My name is Betsy Anderson. I am the chair of the ZPTO. And Greg, are you good to?
Yeah, so we were,
click through?
you know,
I know.
Betsy, John, and I all rehearsed this for a couple hours. So we got this. We got this.
There'll be a dance
Just tell me
at the
next.
So we at ZTO are very passionate about making sure that the school and the PTO and the parents and the teachers are all a big community, and that we're enriching the children with lots of experiences outside of just the classroom walls. So making sure that we're bringing them opportunities and bringing in different programs that can help them learn throughout the way. Our team is made up of 4 board members. You can bump to the next slide, sorry.
Just tell me.
Just say next.
On the next slide.
Yeah.
So I am the chair. Our co-chair is Michelle Baker. She has a student in 2nd grade, and then she has a younger child who will be coming into kindergarten in 2 or 3 more years. Our secretary is Diana Longden. She has a 5th grader and a 3rd grader. Our treasurer is Stephen Fusil. He has a 4th grader, a 2nd grader, and a kindergartner. And our incoming co-chairs are going to be working together, and that is Amar Jaleel and Ann Boyden. And Ann is actually here tonight to take notes for next year when she's doing this. And then next year, 2 major positions that we'll be looking to fill are our secretary position and our enrichment coordinators. They've been doing it for 3 years now, so we're going to be looking to kind of get some new people in to hopefully get some fresh ideas and to continue the wonderful work that we've put in place so far. Next. For fundraisers in this year, we really decided to focus on two major fundraisers and kind of step away from some of the smaller fundraisers such as Boone or Otis Spunkmeyer. So we stepped away from some of those. And our two major fundraisers are our fun run that we hold in the fall. Usually, I guess I shouldn't say usually, we just did it for our second year this year, but our first year we did it in November. And then this year we did it in October, and it was a wonderful event, and it has gotten better this year, I think, significantly than it was the first year. But we raised $11,891.51, and the children had an amazing time running around the school. And because we met our goal, Mr. Bell was generous enough to let all of the children throw water balloons at him. So the picture on the bottom left is him just sitting in his lawn chair while the children pelted him with water balloons. He was a very good sport, and we thank you for that.
Delightful.
I think we should move it to winter.
Sounds good. And then our other major event that we hold every year is our Kids Fest event. So that is paired along with a silent auction that helps us to raise. Last year it was April 28th. This year it'll be April 26th, but it helped us to raise $10,954.26. So we do most of our fundraising with those two events. Our other fundraisers go between restaurant nights, which we've held at Anzio's and Mooyah and NHOP this year. We'll be looking to host some more in the spring. Our school photos usually raises usually around $600 or $700. And then our Bay State Textiles, we are up to, I think it was almost $700. Our Spirit Wear has raised $427.73. And one of our other major book fundraisers is our book fairs. And so we hold two book fairs every year. One is a Scholastic Book Fair, and the other is coming up actually in 2 weeks. And we usually try to use a local bookstore. So we work with the Silver Unicorn in Acton, and they're wonderful to work with. So we've raised about, this past fall, we raised almost $3,500 that goes directly back to the library and the school. So they can pick out whatever books they want. The librarian, Alyssa Rossellini, can pick whichever book she wants. And then we also have the teachers pick books at the beginning of the week, and we buy out their baskets at the end of the week with the Scholastic dollars we've raised. So our budget for our 2023-2024 year is projected to be about $25,925, and a majority of that is going towards enrichments. With our enrichments, we have brought in many companies, which I'll go over in a few minutes, but our second largest is academic grants, and then our third is our field trips, and then classroom grants. We have included field trips and field trip buses in our budget this year, so we do pay for all the children to be able to participate in those. And then there's some other smaller events such as Spirit events, staff appreciation, field day, PTO, overhead, miscellaneous expenses, and tax filing and CPA expenses. So for our Spirit events, we do most of our Spirit events are in the fall. We do host a back-to-school picnic, usually within a few weeks of the beginning of our year. Our Mount Pisgah hike is near the beginning of our year, usually at the end of October, beginning of November. And all of or as many families that want to come can come. It's on a Saturday morning, and we all hike up to the top of Mount Pisgah. And then when we get to the bottom, we provide certificates for the kids and apples and water. And then we do our bike ride walk to school day on a monthly basis. So we do the third Friday of every month, we do a walk bike to school day. So it's really a great opportunity for the families to get out there and show their enthusiasm for being physical and just being healthy within the school. And then our community service events, we do a food drive once or twice a year. One of our teachers is very passionate about the HISMA Cat Shelter Drive, and that is out, I think in the Lunenburg area, near where our teacher lives. So we do, during Kindness Week every year, or for the past like 2 or 3 years, we've done this cat shelter drive, which is wonderful. The shelter has placed, I think, over 30 cats since the last time we donated to them. So they were really happy to be able to receive some donations again this year at the end of Kindness Week. And our recent contributions to the school have been some really big ones that we're very excited about as a PTO. So on top of the field trips that I discussed before that we have taken into our budget, we also made some major playground improvements in the past year. We did approve them last year, but we could not get them on completion dates with the school and who needed to do it until this year. So we donated $7,965 to fixing the playground equipment that had been broken since I've been there, in like I forget what year it was we started, but since my 4th grader was in kindergarten, they've been broken. So it was really nice to be able to put those back up so that the students could have that full experience of the playground usage. And then this year, actually this week they put up a brand new stage curtain that we provided for the school, and that was $11,850. So we are really proud that we've been able to make those large contributions. I'd like to thank Greg for sending acknowledgement of those contributions to us. As a PTO, I read them at the PTO meetings that we do monthly, and everyone appreciates your acknowledgement of those, Greg, so thank you. And then our staff appreciation, we love spoiling our staff, and they love goodies at our school. I've never seen a snack table quite so stacked as our snack table in our lunchroom for the staff. But we provide a kickoff for the school year with a luncheon that parents donate to, and then we usually have it catered by Wegmans and do sandwiches and things that the teachers like. Then we do a holiday breakfast. During Staff Appreciation Week, we go and we provide them lunch. Last year we did a taco lunch, and then notes of appreciation for the staff, and we have a coffee truck come as well. Of course, we celebrate our nurses, custodial staff, and bus drivers as well. For our enrichment programs, we just brought in for the first time high tech. I know there is one of the Southborough schools, I want to say it was Woodward, that might use them, but they were wonderful to work with when we had them in a couple of weeks ago. They provide, I want to say 15 to 20 different options for the teachers to choose from, and they provide each class with an enrichment program. So I want to say it was our 3rd graders had a
forensics.
They did, yeah, a fun and forensics program. So they did fingerprints, and the gentleman who ran the program had like a whole like caution tape area, and they had to like look at different items and like try to remember what they saw. It was a lot of fun. And then he did a seed and plant one for the 1st graders, where they were able to physically take spinach leaves and coffee filters and like scrape out the chloroform from the leaf, and they thought it was the best thing ever. And when they took it off, the leaf was clear, so they had rubbed all the chloroform off. It's not chloroform.
Chlorophyll.
Thank you. I was like, that's dangerous. Just a little science experiment going on. But they were a wonderful program to have at the school. We're looking forward to continuing to work with them with our other grades. Playful Engineers will be coming in, as John mentioned before, on Pi Day. We have an author visit scheduled for April with Faya Creed, and she, I believe, was at the reading event, the library event. Was she at the library event?
The
that
authors, the
one of the
librarian thing at Algonquin?
At Algonquin, yeah. I think she was there, I saw. And then we had a cappella group come in called Ball in the House, and they did 2 programs, one for our K through 2 and then another for our 3 through 5, and they were wonderful and taught all about the ways that their voices work together in beatboxing and how different medias can highlight those different voice and technology things that they were that they do as a profession. They were wonderful to have. The teachers raved about that program. And then our meteorologist visit from Channel 5, Kelly Ann Chicalise, came in as she always does, and we were on the wake-up call the following morning, I believe. So it was great to be able to be on that as well. Grant requests, we do academic grants for our teachers and classroom grants. And our academic grants are different funds that go towards providing funding for special projects for classrooms in different units, which we've seen quite a few come in for the new Wit and Wisdom curriculum that's been put into place. So far to date, we have spent $1,845.30, but we do a lot up to $5,000 for that that budget line item, excuse me, and they are able to submit those academic grants until May. So that's one of the things Z prides themselves in, is keeping that budget open all year long for them, because they never know what they're going to need. And then the classroom grants are small items that the teachers just go and usually buy with their own money. They're able to submit receipts for up to $100 that we will reimburse them for. So some of the grants that were approved this year were, you're fine, Greg, one of the really great ones was a heart pump. Wrote down the name of it because I'm going to forget it. She, the 4th grade teacher did a Wit and Wisdom unit, and she bought a pumping heart model, a cross-section human heart model, and stethoscope for the children to be able to kind of explore and play with, which was really exciting.
What grade was
my
that?
son was in her class and like loved it.
4th grade?
Yeah, 4th grade. Yep. And then we did, gave the librarian $1,000 to be able to provide ELL books for some of the students who we had, quite a few of the refugees here in town who wanted to be able to participate in some of the reading that was going on that didn't know a lot of English. So we provided a lot of books for her to do that as well. And that is my presentation. Does anyone have any questions?
Amazing.
I talked too much, I'm sorry.
No, it was amazing. Thank you so much. It was so great. We appreciate all that all of the PTOs do, but this is just so exciting to hear all the different things that you guys are doing and you're able to provide, and all the field trips and the enrichment and bringing all the fun, really cool, interesting things into the school.
Yeah.
And for Principal Bell allowing it to come into the school too, we appreciate that too, because it is a partnership for
It is.
for
We
both, so.
give him so much credit for allowing us to give the school some of those big things, because we know that they need them, and we want to make sure that the students are getting everything they can.
So exciting. Does anybody have any questions or?
I don't have any questions, but second what Kelly said, that's
Yeah.
an amazing amount of work, and it's so obvious
Yeah.
the huge impact you guys have. Like, big, huge thank you. 'Cause I know it's
I
a
actually
lot of work.
have a question for the school committee, if you don't mind. So one of the things that some parents have brought up to me as the chair was, what are some ways that we as the PTO and parents in our school can ensure that schools are receiving appropriate budgets each year to fix things that we've gone ahead and fixed because we know that we can do it and we want to be able to give the children those things. But what are ways that we can come to the school committee and budget lines and make sure that we're getting those updates, like playgrounds or poison ivy removal or library budget increases, things like that? What can we do as parents and PTO members?
Do you want me to take? So I think that first and foremost, thank you for all the work, and I think
Yeah.
we have very strong PTOs across all of our schools, and it's always impressive to hear how you're impacting the student experience. So thank you. I think it's a great question. I think I often hear the question, you know, why are we having to use PTO money to fund things like fixing the stage curtain or fixing a playground? And I think it's a fair question. We are fortunate as a district to be able, you know, there's not much that we haven't been able to fund. So I think it's a partnership. We're identifying what those 3 or 4 areas that we want to move forward in the operational budget, working with the principal, and then John working with us, and principals working with us at central office, to make sure that we are having that ongoing investment to accomplish some of those repairs that are important. I think that our buildings are community assets, and it's important that we maintain those, again, for our students and our community. So my recommendation is work with principals, identify those priority, make the lists, work with, Becky, Keith, Stephanie, and me, and as we move through the budget process, which usually happens in September, October, November, we get those on the list.
Okay, great, thank you very much.
I think too, also, it's a year-long process.
Yeah.
So when there are things that you really want and need, you don't want to wait a year to get it on a budget that could potentially not make it on the budget. And I mean, it's been 6 years for the strings program, and and so I think that's when the PTO has been amazing in stepping up and helping us get things done quicker than we could potentially do it. So we're so appreciative that all of our PTOs and help us get stuff done. Yeah.
So
I'll just add that we do sometimes have, whether it's PTOs or the NEF grants, people will reach out to me or to the coordinators to say, we've had a request for this that's aligned to the curriculum. Is that something we should be thinking about from a grant perspective, or is that something that the district is thinking about? And we're always happy to have those conversations so that we're all kind of working together in thinking about them. So
That's great.
always feel free to reach out.
Thank you.
And then I would just add that each year we try to refine the budget process. So I think that as we look to next year, doing more proactive outreach to the PTOs in September and October, and really listening and partnering. That is something that will add to the process in FY26. Sounds like so far away.
I know.
I know, that's what we're talking about. Takes time.
Yep, and that's what we explained, is when we were speaking to those parents that have those questions, is it takes time.
Yeah.
So if we can do it, and we have that ability, why not?
Why wait?
We want to be able to support the children. So.
Also, just a great source for us then to inform our budget goals as well. So the more information, the better.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Joan does have her hand up.
Joan?
Thank you. I'd like to thank the PTO leadership and all the members that are supporting you so much. Every year I always say the money that each PTO gives back to the schools makes our job easier when we get into the budget season. Even the playground equipment even reaches out to all community members. I know that those playgrounds are busy after school and even on weekends and the vacations. So thank you for encompassing the whole entire community. And I, especially as a former teacher, I love all the things that you do for the teachers and take care of all those little things that they may need during a teacher appreciation week or when they're doing conferences, all those things to let them know that they are an integral part and an important part of the T and PTO. I have one question on that library grant that you spoke about for $1,000. Are parents able to take those books out of the library? Were they mainly for the parents, or were they mainly for the children?
So they were library books. They're in the library. Kids can check them out, and so they can go home and read them. But then they come back just like any other library book.
So could a parent request one of those books through a teacher if they wanted to take one out, and then maybe not take it out through the parent, but take it out through their child?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah.
I actually have a book out at the Proctor Library. I've had it out for a very long time, and I promise, Miss Bailey, I will have it back to you before my child leaves the school. So.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is the Lincoln Street School.
Jen, do you need me to project?
Yeah,
or-
is that okay?
Just give me 2 seconds.
I'll start by introducing our PTO
That's great. Thank you.
chair people. This is Jen Marchioni, and this is Chrissy Hongs, and they are the new co-chairs of Lincoln Street School. We are a new team. We are a first year.
Figuring it out.
Figuring it out as we go. We got a couple of ideas from the Z School. We were taking copious notes. We don't have a pie chart, so we're starting at an A-. And that's my fault. I forgot about how important and how pretty that looks. That's where we go.
All right, so I'm Chrissy and this is Jen. And our other board members are Lauren Fortier and Liz Driscoll. They are communication co-chairs, and then our treasurer and grants coordinator were on the PTO prior to the rest of all of us new people. So our treasurer is Julia DeCientis, and grants coordinator is Jenny Carey, and book fair co-chairs are Jacqueline Taylor and Nicole Parr. And clearly teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
For our school. We have lots of co-chairs. And this is our board, but we have lots of other positions and help throughout the year with events.
And we're at Lincoln, we're really passionate about working with the students, the parents, the teachers. We have a wonderful principal this year. It's been a breath of fresh air. She's been so helpful and great in the community, and just all working together to do best for students and seeing what the community needs, what the students need, what the school needs.
So field trips are going to be a new thing back for Lincoln Street since COVID. Everybody's
We're
very
getting close.
excited
We're getting
about
close. Warm up those buses.
We actually the kids haven't been on any yet, but everybody's so excited. So the kindergarten haven't finalized yet, and we actually don't pay, we just subsidize the field trips. And then first grade's going to Tower Hill, second grade's going to Ecotarium, third grade is going to the Concord Museum, fourth grade's going to Tower Hill, and fifth grade is going to Constitution Museum. We are psyched about that.
Can't wait.
We do have another field trip for the 5th grade that we're not ready to reveal, right, Mr. Bell? But they will have an additional special field trip, perhaps for all 5th graders.
Yes.
And the PTO has graciously said they would, help us along the way.
So we're bringing back enrichment this year too. Sorry, I think it's the slide before. Yeah. And so it hasn't. None of this has happened yet, but it's all scheduled for the spring, so it's coming. The Discovery Museum's coming for all the grades except first grade, where the Ecotarium is going to come. And so they're going to come into the school, different focuses depending on the grade level and the content and the standards. But we're really excited to bring this back and give kids opportunities outside of the classroom to learn.
So our grants are available to any of the teachers to apply at any time up until May. We also give them a stipend at the beginning of the year for school supplies or anything that they might need throughout the year. And then the grants that we have fulfilled so far this year are shoe-shaped keychains. Seems a little bit silly. We were like, what is this for? But our art teacher was going to teach the kindergartners and first graders how to tie their shoes.
And it worked. My first grader learned how to tie her shoes the first week. I was like, yeah! Go Mrs. Hackenberg!
So she graciously took that on, and if they succeeded, they got a keychain. And this was to help them when they were going to learn how to weave in art class. So the connection between art and real life, a life skill. So that was really cool. We were excited about that one. And then kindergarten, first and second grade had wanted some sensory toys. Third grade got a 1-year subscription to SumDog, which is an app for math and spelling. K through 5, well, all of the classes. There's a relaxation station installed outside the gym for the kids to take a break from learning and have fun. And the 5th grade got speed cubes, and they created that beautiful mosaic with their speed cubes.
So we have had similar fundraisers to Z. We had a silent auction at the beginning of the year that was very successful. $5,000 it raised. We had a Scholastic Book Fair in the fall right around conference time, which was very successful. Money went back to Mrs. King and the library. Our fall fun run was in November. And I have a first grader, so it's only my second year at Lincoln, but both years that fun run, I volunteered to help the course, and it's the energy and the excitement is unreal. The kids love it. This year we got so lucky. It was 50 degrees out, and it was just such a fun day. My daughter came home all smiles, and we raised $9,000 with that. We've been doing monthly restaurant nights. Panera is tomorrow, so if you're hungry, go to Panera. You can support Lincoln. And then we're so excited because we just partnered with Higgy House. The book fair just closed today, actually. And it was awesome. I'm a 5th grade teacher, and when I was helping set up, the books were amazing. I was like, I could do some serious damage for my classroom here. It was such a wide variety of books, so inclusive, so many diverse choices, and they were lovely, the women. So that was a huge success, and the kids even commented that it was different books than just Scholastic. So everyone, the teachers, parents, kids were all excited.
So our PTO events, we start off the year with Polar Bear Pizza Bash, and that got rained out like everything else.
But we made it work, and it was inside.
And that's a really fun night for the kids to see each other outside of school, and then we have Trick or Treat is the end of our silent auction, so it's kind of like a fun little event for after that. And then we have the Apple Fest Parade. We have a Veterans Day breakfast. We do cocoa and cookies where the kids come and have cocoa and cookies and then go to a
readers,
Jen was one of our fabulous readers.
Have either community volunteers or teachers read them a nice little book, and they can come in their jammies, and it's a nice little cozy night. We have bingo night coming up next week. We do we do one parents night out. We're trying to do a few to get the parents to join the community and have a good night out together. We have a luau at close to the end of the year, and then we have the end of the year pizza party.
We appreciate the teachers and all the staff at Lincoln. At the beginning of the year, we had, before, I think the teacher-only days, we had Yeoman's ice cream truck come and give ice cream to the teachers. We do a teacher appreciation week every year. Right before the holiday break, the winter break, we had a cookie swap, so all the parents who volunteered either made cookies or bought cookies, and we put them out, and teachers could come in and grab whatever they wanted. We did a brunch for the teachers and all the staff on Valentine's Day. At the beginning of the year, we stocked the staff room with snacks that wouldn't go bad, so that they would hopefully last for a long time. We do regular staff lunches. We just did one for conferences on the half day on Monday. We did a tree of thanks, which was so cute, around Thanksgiving, and we sent home leaves to the parent or to the kids, and they got to write to different staff members or teachers or the community as a whole what they appreciated. And Christy helped put it up, but it was walking around the school and reading it. It was just so sweet what even these little kindergartners or 5th graders who think they're so cool, but the things that they were able to give to teachers and staff, it was really nice. And then staff appreciation baskets to all school staff.
So because we exceeded our goal for our fun run, the kids it was delayed because before the holidays was a little bit rocky in our school.
Touch and go.
So
sickness-wise.
We had, when was it? A few weeks ago.
Yeah,
we
at the beginning
had
of February.
They got to
I must have missed the invite.
Next year.
So unfortunately, I wasn't at the event
Me
to
neither.
speak of it, but these pictures will show you the how many, is it six?
It was
six
8
and a
teachers,
student? Okay.
and what we did is we doubled down on the day. It was February 6th, and our one of our students, his parents, for the silent auction, they won principal for the day. So we built a schedule for this fourth grader
So
that
did you
day.
have the fourth grader
And
be-
he's
He had to get-
bottom left picture. that was, and we had the teachers line up and volunteer and climb the ladder, and it was just this intricate structure that one of our board members made with her father, with all kinds of tubing and pipes, and it was remarkable. But it was a lot of fun.
And the classes that raised the most were the ones that got to help slime. So my daughter was like beyond excited when she got to come home and say that she poured slime on a teacher.
It was great.
Some of the other fun ways we've used our funds, we got a new Pat the polar bear, and then we thought he had a little of a sad face, so Chrissy took care of it and gave him a smile. So it's not here, you can see the frown, but next time we put a picture of Pat the polar bear, he's smiling and he's happier.
He visits events and the kids really love him.
Yeah. We gave all LSS kindergartners T-shirts before the first day of school so that they would have for Spirit Days or Lincoln Street Days or just to have to wear to get them excited about it. We did a Veterans Day breakfast. We partnered with some of the teachers who put that on. Outside the planters, you can see in that top picture, we've been trying to help throughout the year maintain those. We donated funds to that library celebration event that happened in February at the high school. That was fabulous. Sports equipment for the playground. We've been giving vouchers for students at the book fair, and then kindness sleeves at the coffee shop. And there's
So this was one of the kindness sleeves. I guess Lincoln Street staff did this last year. We did this part of our kindness week. The PTO was kind enough to get the sleeves for us, and we probably dropped off 250, 300 sleeves to Brilla, the coffee shop. And what we asked is we had a little QR code, and they took a picture when they got a sleeve. And these are just some of the pictures that were shared with some of our staff members to post. My favorite is the espresso one. More espresso, less depresso. I did go through everyone to double check. But just those types of activities that really are student-centered, student-focused. I think kids went in with their families and, were saying, well, we did that for Kindness Week. So it's been really a great partnership with the parents, with the staff, with the school committee, with the PTO chairs. I have learned quite a bit, all of this new learning at the elementary level, but we're really just trying to bring folks into the school, have them be a part of a learning community, have their students be engaged, make connections that will last a lifetime, and be open. We're very open to new ideas, trying new things. Like I said, I learned quite a bit from the Z School presentation, so I think we're off to a good start. And we look forward to more.
So great. Thank you so much. You heard me say to that PTO, I say to you guys too, we can't do our job without you guys helping out and doing your job. So thank you so much. And it is a job. It might not be paid, but it's definitely appreciated. So we thank you so much for it and all that you do. Does anybody have any exciting questions?
I think just also it's so important from the community level too. You're building that spirit. You're bringing families together. You're doing things outside of the school too, and so you can just feel that in your presentation. And I'm sure all the families really appreciate your work. So thank you.
Thank you. It's very much appreciated. And I love all the events that I can bring all of my kids to, and they all have a good time. That is so rare. And then also they're building community. Like they can't even agree on a movie on Friday night, but they have a blast at the luau and cookies and cocoa, and they were all there and had a good time. It was great to partner local too. That both were able to partner with Higgy House, which I never knew that was how you pronounce it. Now I feel much more confident. I was wondering if I was doing it right or not. But I've been to the shop and a couple of her events before, and somebody in the community told me she used to teach here.
Yes, she's a longtime friend of mine. We taught English at ELA together here, and she went a different route, career path. And when the PTO, they brought it to us, and we were like, "Are we sure we don't want to do Scholastic?" And we really talked it out. And I said, "Well, I have a friend that has a book, store. What do you think about that?" And they did their research, and I think it was just a really.
It wasn't. I think it was only their second book fair that they've done, but it was fabulous. And they were there the whole time helping too, which was so nice. And they could give suggestions for parents who showed up at conferences looking for books that they're for their kid. And yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah, so you guys are awesome. You did a great job. Thank you.
Yeah, and just on behalf of the district, your excitement and enthusiasm is contagious, so thank you. And also thank you for welcoming a new principal and partnering.
Oh, we love her. She is fabulous.
No, I know
Lincoln's
that.
So lucky.
They don't like when they see me coming.
Yeah.
They're like, "She's got another idea." I'm like, "So I'm thinking about the lunar eclipse. How much is this going to cost us?"
And just, I love how you're partnering with local businesses, and it's a community feeling, the coffee sleeves and the book fair. I just think it's really exciting, and it's all student-centered and teacher-centered, so thank you. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
I was excited to see the coffee sleeves. That was my picture of Bob Lash. I got to grill it a grade.
Oh.
I was like,
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I put a big smile on my face. These are great.
That's so cool. It's so cool. Alrighty. Thank you so much, everybody. Nice to see you. So some of the moms there, I had their preschoolers. So it's fun to see them all grown up. Next on the agenda is the legislative update.
So a couple updates on the legislative front. First is that the legislative delegation Monday evening for the select board is rescheduled to April.
Yeah.
So as soon as
I literally
hot off the
just-
press.
Hot off the press, like just found that out. So.
And then also on March 18th, the Northborough legislative delegation is going to be touring some of our schools. So would welcome a couple of you to join those tours. So we'll be visiting Lincoln.
18th?
Yep, March 18th from 8 to 11:30. And we'll be touring Lincoln, Proctor, Z, and Milliken. The delegation already visited in November, and we went to Peasley and Algonquin. So they'll be finishing up. So it's a great opportunity for us to interact, share our priorities, show them the wonderful things that are happening in our schools, and again, fostering that partnership and that relationship.
For the delegation visit, are you meeting at one particular school first?
So we're still in the
send us the
process of
schedule.
organizing.
Okay.
I think we are starting at Z,
Okay.
and then Milliken, Lincoln, and then Proctor.
Not going to Peasley?
We've already been to Peasley, November.
That's true. That's
So-
true.
Yeah, if you could share the details when it gets closer,
Yep.
that'd be
Yes,
great. I'll try
definitely.
and-
Yep. And
I do have a
if
dentist appointment that day, but it's not till 11. so I
we
can-
need to post, just let me, we'll know.
Yeah, there's more than 3 of us, yeah. We'll just post it,
right.
but it's fine.
Yeah, it's easy
easy
to
enough
do.
to post, like. I'd rather the more the merrier, you know.
Yeah, and I think they appreciate the interaction with the committee, and that is the update for legislative news.
An old business, none at this time, enrollments.
So in your packet is the enrollment report as of February 20th, 2024. We are in the process of identifying the number of sections for the next academic year, looking at where classes are already capped for next year, and keeping a close eye on it. So this is a weekly conversation that the principals and I have as we move forward for the remainder of the year. I think what we're monitoring right now is kindergarten enrollment. It is down from what we had projected, but it is the most volatile grade level in regards to enrollment. So we are confident that in the next probably 3 or 4 months, enrollment will increase.
For parents who have registered their children for kindergarten for next year, I do know that some
there's questions in the community about, how do we know if we get our neighborhood school? So how do they find that out?
Yeah, so right now, in terms of our projections for next year, every neighborhood school has space for kindergarten.
Okay.
So we'll have 2 sections at each school. And right now there is space. So if there is a need to redistrict, the central office will let a parent know as soon as we learn that.
Okay.
Joan?
Kelly. Greg, I have a question on these projections. How are they relating to the NESDEC numbers that they've been projecting through the years?
Yeah, so we've been fairly close. It's been fairly accurate. I think that the NESDEC enrollment projections for FY25 was a little under 1,600, so 1,592. And we are projecting approximately about that number. So it's close, but it's been accurate.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So that is the enrollment report.
Monthly general fund expenditure report.
And just before turning it over to Becky to give the report, I'll just quickly, in your packet is also the FY25 school committee approved budget and the FY25 budget book. And just want to thank the central office team that really spends a lot of time organizing that book. It has a tremendous amount of reports and data, and many hands go into collecting that information and producing that budget booklet. And it's really a key document for us in terms of providing good information for the school committee, citizens, and also internally as we kind of navigate the process. But also in the upcoming fiscal year, that budget booklet really is helpful. It contains all the key information in one document. So just want to thank Cheryl Leppery, Nina Wall, Becky and the finance team, Nancy, HR team. It's really a central office team effort. And then I'll turn it over to Becky for the general fund expenditure report.
Okay, so the monthly general fund report that's included in your packet is as of February 29th, 2024. It still feels weird to say that. I can't believe that we have 4 months remaining in FY24. It seems like we just started. You can see that the bottom line, as of the end of February, is $119,465, or 0.43% remaining. That is down just under $80,000 from January. And doing a review of that, the major difference really was a difference in the encumbrance for our special education transportation. Some of the bills that we've been receiving from ABC for our transportation have been slow in getting to us, and so we really rely on those invoices to look at our projections as we go through the year. I do want to say that Student Support Services is working closely with ABC to on those invoices, and I feel that now we do have a few months under our belt, so we're very confident in the numbers that we have in this budget right now for special education. The other thing that I just wanted to remind the committee about is that this Friday, March 8th, I had mentioned this last month, we are filing for special education extraordinary relief through circuit breaker, as well as for the supplemental budget that was passed as a result of the 14%. So we are hoping that we will be successful in obtaining it. Right now, early indications do look as though we will qualify for extraordinary relief, and those funds will come to us and will need to be expended in FY24. In terms of the supplemental budget money, we are looking that we will receive that as well, and we can utilize that either in this year's budget or we could use it in next year's budget as well. So those are some numbers that we're looking at that will also impact this bottom line figure.
We need a motion.
I'll move to approve until audited the Northborough Public School District FY 2024 budget monthly general fund expenditure report as of February 29th, 2024.
Second. Motioned by Lauren and seconded by Kristen. Any discussion? No? It's going to be a roll call vote. Joan?
Yes.
Bryce?
Yes.
Kristen?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
And myself as a yes. Passes unanimously. Thank you.
And the last item on the superintendent's report are the draft warrant articles for the annual town meeting. So Kelly and I did meet with advisory. Is it the
It was the financial planning
committee? I believe last week, and we presented the capital warrant articles that we're moving forward and answered any questions. So this evening, I'll briefly review those articles with the committee and request approval to finalize these. The first article is around the school budget, which is a standard article every year. The next article, which is Article 30, is asbestos encapsulation of the chimney at the Peaslee Elementary School. So every 3 years we have to do an AHERA. It's a asbestos hazard audit. So we had our report completed, and what the report came back sharing is that some of the encapsulation of the chimney in the boiler room at Peaslee is falling, and our auditor is asking us to re-encapsulate that. So this warrant article funds that cost. So that is something that we have to do. We don't have a choice. Article 34 is a significant article, and that is to fund a feasibility study for the Peaslee Elementary School through MSBA. We did get a communication from the Mass School Building Authority that the window for eligibility period begins on April 1st for the town of Northborough. And the town of Northborough will have 270 days to move through eligibility, looking at enrollment, looking at grade configurations, and also to fund feasibility. Since there are no town meetings scheduled between that April 1st and 270 days, which is the window, my recommendation is to have the warrant article for the feasibility funding in this spring town meeting. I know there is a special town meeting this fall for the fire station. I think it's important that we don't cloud that conversation and discussion and decision of the community, and therefore I think this spring is ideal. If we don't move it forward this spring or fall, we have to have a special town meeting before the next FY25 spring town meeting, and that would, I think, cost a lot of money, and it wouldn't make a lot of sense. The expenditures of that money most likely would not happen until FY26 at the earliest. So that is an important article. The other article is power purchasing agreements. So we are looking to move forward with power purchasing agreements for solar to offset our energy costs. So there is power purchasing agreement to lease space on our roofs at Proctor Elementary School, at Lincoln Elementary, and at Z Elementary. And Z is really contingent upon MSBA funding a new roof through the accelerated repair project. But we thought it was important to move the article forward just in case that does take place. And then the last article, so we've had some conversations with Tim McInerney and Jason Little around the Melkin Middle School hot water system upgrade and the pneumatic control, which operate the dampers here at Melkin. And I think they have green repair money in their accounts, and that is how this will be funded. So we agreed that these are important improvements. And Article 32 is the hot water system upgrade, and Article 33 is the pneumatic control repairs. And those are the articles that we have provided to the town to be included in the the spring town meeting warrant article.
Next month, we can decide on who's able to go to the meeting and wants to read them.
There's no shortage of reading this year.
There's a lot this year, so.
Sounds like a fun job.
Yeah. Can divvy it up. All right, so that's all the superintendent reports.
And if, I'm not sure, I think just a vote, a motion
The
as is
motion vote
presented.
as presented, to move forward these warrant articles for the publication of the book. Okay.
Sure, I can move.
Okay.
So I'll move to to move forward with the warrant articles as presented this evening for the booklet to be presented at our future town meeting.
Motion by Lauren, seconded by Kristen. Kind of heard you both at the same time. Any discussion? All right, roll call vote. Joan?
Yes.
Bryce?
Yes.
Kristen?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
And myself is a yes. School committee member reports. I've got a bunch. NSPAC, right now, they're doing their Parents' Night Out, so I hope it's a great success. They're doing a pottery night. The other things on their upcoming list, in April, they're going to have executive functioning talk, which I'm very excited about. Can't wait for that. And then in May, they have their Going the Distance awards. So those are the things coming up for NSPAC. On Monday, there's a solar meeting, so we will be discussing progressing forward with kind of the warrant articles, I'm assuming. The Superintendent Advisory Committee is meeting on Friday. I unfortunately cannot attend this week. We have our conferences at preschools.
One of the best agendas that we've had for the SAC all year.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. And last month's was canceled because of scheduling, so I'm very disappointed. But, you know, I can't go to everything, so what are you going to do?
We'll take good notes.
And then just the other thing that it's going to be on a future agenda item, but Greg and I did go over to Lincoln Street School to check it out for the Northborough cable access TV, and they are going. I think I talked to him. I think he's sending him over this week if he didn't do it today.
They did go.
Did he go
today?
Okay.
I believe,
yeah.
Today or yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah. He was telling me he was going to be going this week. So they are looking to potentially hardwire and set it up for potentially voting to have our meetings move from this library over to the Lincoln Street School cafeteria and cafetorium, I guess they have. So they have a stage, and it looked really exciting. So that would be a future agenda item to vote, decide if we want to move meetings over there for the fall. People were saying, "Oh, when are you coming?" I was like, "Well, it would be like the fall-ish time." So that would be a future agenda item, but that is something that we also did. So, anybody else have anything?
I have some questions / future agenda items. We don't have any reports.
Okay, we'll do that for the
Yeah.
future things. I know.
Nobody met since
Yeah.
our last meeting.
Yeah.
I think February was quiet.
Yeah. Joan?
Thank you. I have two. The first one is coming from the Northborough Ed Foundation. Coming up on Friday, April the 5th, 2024, will be the team trivia, which benefits the NEF. It's going to be held at Cyprian Keys Golf Club. Doors open at 7. The trivia starts at 7:30. Cash bars, spectators are welcomed, and they can get and watch all the teams. Costumes are optional but encouraged. And your team can consist of 2 to 4 people. If you want to register, you go to www.northborough, spelled out OUGHED.org. And the cost is $160 for a team if you register before March 29th. And then it goes up by $20 to $180 for a team after March 29th. And your entry fee is tax deductible, so anyone who's listening has a business wants to do it, it's tax deductible. And there is a $60 discount available to Northborough faculty and administration teams. So I did send over to Kelly and to Greg the registration form for that if you guys would like to put a team together. And then also for the public, If you know anyone who owns a local business and would be interested in being a sponsor or supporter for the event, or even if they'd like to donate a item or service for the silent auction, you can visit or email Noel, the president, at info@northboroughed.org. So that besides the team trivia, they'll be doing a silent auction, and also if anybody wanted to donate a service. So I think, Greg, I did send that, and I believe you did get it, the registration form.
Yeah, I was gonna ask tonight, do you wanna finish your reports, or do you wanna talk about that now?
You want to talk about that now, and then I'll go to the other one. Just has a question.
Okay, I don't know if anyone is available to do it. It is a great event. It is very fun. I unfortunately have a schedule conflict that night, so I will not be able to attend. But I don't know. I think Bryce and Kristen, you were there last year, I think.
Yeah, I brought a couple people from my street.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
I mean, the other idea is if people can't attend, we could also sponsor our team.
That's true too.
You know.
That's a fun, yeah.
So we could
through trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah, trivia night, yeah.
What was the date?
It's the first Friday.
It's Friday the 5th
Yep.
of April.
Yeah, it's cheer awards night for my girls, so.
So I'll have Cheryl coordinate and see what the interest is, and we can look at central office, and at a minimum, I think if we sponsor a team, I think that would, I mean, it does remove us from potentially winning.
Yeah, I know, because we came really close last year.
Competitive group.
Yeah.
I think if we were able to stay the whole time,
we would have.
I am available, but I'll tell you, I don't leave early, okay?
Yes.
The bitter end. Yeah. Even if everybody else leaves, I'm gonna be there trying to answer it myself.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Joan, you had something else?
Yes, and I guess after I give this little blurb, the meeting before this is because I wanted to ask a question of Greg and the administration. If we had representation on this, and what would be the contact? If most of you have an email with the town of Northborough, there was an email that was posted this morning about 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was from the Northborough Health and Human Services Strategic Assessment Report. And it was emailed to us, and you could click on it, and it's a 75-page document. It was prepared by the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission for March 2024. In that report, I did not see anybody's list of the people that were on this that helped to do it. But there were two things that stood out that I wanted to know how we would be working with this team. The first one was on page 17. It was a recommendation and action plan, and it was called Programs and Services for Mental Health. And it said, one of the bullets said, school-based therapy, implementing therapy services with schools to support students' mental health. The next one that referred to the schools was on pages 48 to 49. There was another implementation of an action plan, and it said to number 3, formulate an implementation team that will establish the team to represent from various town departments, including the schools. This team will spearhead the integration process, ensuring a collaborative hiring and program development approach. So I didn't, not seeing the list of the people, and they gave a lot of accolades to the school throughout the whole report, but I wanted to know, would Mary Ellen Duggan be doing this? Or who would be doing this, since they want the schools to be on a team, and how do we follow up with this strategic assessment report?
Yeah, so Joan, thank you for sending that report to me. I had not received a copy. I will reach out to Mary Ellen Duggan and Jennifer Lupton O'Connor. I can't say 100% that they were involved, but I am 99.9% sure that they were part of that coalition and that work. But I'll confirm, and I think in terms of implementation, if it is true that we were part of the process, which I believe it is, Mary Ellen Duggan and Jennifer Lipton O'Connor will be the two members who will help be the bridge for the district to this coalition.
Okay, and then Kelly, just I'm going further into the agenda, when you have future agenda items, as this progresses, which will probably be into next year, and Greg, for you and the chair, is to get a report on this to see, what this implementation team is doing. And it would be nice, and tell Mary Ellen Duggan, and if they are on that team, it'd be nice if that we had a list of the people that were part of this, even if it was from the state, because it came from Central Mass Regional Planning Committee. I have no idea who the people were on it, but it would be nice to have a list of the attendees and the participants.
Thank you, Joan.
Okay, that's the end of my reports. Thank you.
Thanks, Joan. All right. No policy development. Oh, wait, sorry, jumped one. Education policy. Approval of the Peaslee School Nature Classroom Trip 24-25.
So in your packet is a memo from Dr. Mary Coakley asking for approval of the 5th grade Nature's Classroom to be approved by the committee for the spring of 2025. And she provided details around the trip, dates, costs, participants, connections to the curriculum, health and safety, transportation impact. And as you know, this has been a long-standing trip for the Peaslee 5th grade students. And I'd be happy to answer any questions or bring back questions to Dr. Coakley.
We talked about this a lot last year, and they answered quite a bit of questions. I know Erin had experience with her daughter as well, so we got to hear about that experience.
And that reminds me, I do believe that this was approved for spring of 2025 already by last year's committee. However, I would recommend.
We'll just vote again.
Vote again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and then I think we were talking about potentially voting like ahead every year, just so that they have the approval to do it.
In the spring, voting in the spring in advance, so that, again, all the planning, all the work.
That it can happen and not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in support if this is what the schools want to do and this is the tradition that they want to keep doing and things like that. I wish all of our kids could experience the same, throughout the town. I wish all kids could experience everything the same. But I mean, this is something that they're really passionate about and want to keep pushing forward. And if the other schools aren't pushing forward, they're choosing to do different things. I mean, I don't think it's fair to prevent this school from doing it just because the other schools aren't doing it. Go ahead, Bryce.
Why?
Why should we not tell them they can do it?
Why are they the only ones? Like, what is
It's the planning. I think it's just, I don't think the other schools have ever, I don't think they've ever done it.
It's a heavy lift.
I think that it's tradition.
Yeah.
I think that this has been a long-standing tradition at the Peaslee Elementary School. I don't think, it hasn't been at the other elementary schools. I don't think it's been looked at. Circumstantial. I think each school has a little bit of a kind of nuance in terms of what they do. I do think that it is a larger conversation for us as a district to think about what are those common experiences, not just at Peaslee, but it's also field trips and kind of really milestone experiences, whether it's the ecosystem trip to Maine, Nature's Classroom, and really kind of coalesce around what is the experience we want to kind of promote, and so that all students have an opportunity. But I also agree that I think until we kind of get to that place and we have those conversations, I think it's important to continue to support those teachers who are in schools that are doing things like this.
Yeah, I support this.
I have a question. My only question was, it mentions that parents pay, so the majority of it, right, $240 per student.
Yep.
Are there any options like with the PTO or
Scholarships?
Yeah, basically. For a family that
I don't
wants to
know
try
if
to
they
go,
do
but-
scholarship. I feel like.
Yeah, there
I
are
feel like they
scholarships
do.
available, and they do partnership with the PTO and. Sorry, didn't want to interrupt.
No, I'm just saying there is.
Oh.
Find it.
You were just confirming.
In a letter.
Yeah.
This, though, it reminded me, because I experienced it with the ecology school, is for the payment had to go through our school system. And so I would love to talk and find out more about the finance that we choose to use and the services and the things that we used to use for charging families in general. Not just that, but also like the school bucks, you know, for the cafeteria lunch, things like that. I'm getting, you know, emails that there's going to be more fees and this and that. And, you know, I mean, it hits families. I know for the ecology school, if you chose to split it into multiple payments, then you get more fees. So by the time you're doing it, you're actually paying more than if you had the chance to pay for things up front. So
unfortunately, with online payments, there are fees that we do pass on to the families.
Yeah.
We've looked at a number of different systems, and we tried to select the system, first of all, that worked best and integrates with Power School, but also had lower fees. But I think we are seeing an increase in the fees just because of the way that interest rates are and the way that inflation is. We are seeing increases in those, and I think the My School Bucks thing was something that happened this week that we were not aware of.
yeah, I was like, what? Because I never used it before. But now, of course, my daughter needs to buy cookies at Melican because they have cookie day. And, you know, you can't buy the lunch, but you can't buy the food, but you can buy cookies, you know.
And you don't see it when you go to the store because it's passed on through retailers, you know, as part of the cost of whatever you're purchasing. But all credit card companies do charge us a set fee for processing.
Yeah. And why do they not accept Visa?
Which one is it Unibank?
Yeah.
I can look into that. I'll ask about that.
Because I was very upset I couldn't get my Marriott points. Honestly, like, I need the Marriott points.
We have, so we utilize Unibank, and then we also have started to work on a new company, the Vanco, and that's what integrates with Power School. So that does offer a wider variety of payment options.
Okay.
You know, I think with the
Would you be transitioning out of uni to the other
we'll
one?
probably be using both, having options for parents.
So parents could choose which one to.
Because Unibank, I will say, if somebody decides to use an e-check, it's 50 cents. That's the fee for, you know, so if you're paying.
But they don't get Marriott points.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I ended up doing that way. I did the e-check for 50 cents because I didn't want to spend like the extra $50 on like a $3.50 things like.
So.
Yeah, so I was like, I use that, but yeah.
I mean, the processing fees are substantial and outrageous, and there's really, it's a system, so there's not really, all districts are experiencing this.
Yeah.
And it is a fee passed on to parents, which, you know, every dollar counts.
Yeah, yeah. It's especially unfortunate when you don't have the option to like write a regular check. You know, like if you're told you have to pay this way, you have to do it. Like, and then to be hit on top of it, it's just like it's.
And some of our families are using their credit cards because that's the way. That's
yeah.
That's.
Yeah. So.
They either have to or that's they used it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry to go off on that tangent, but it brought me up because this is a large thing, and I'm not sure if they go through you the same way that the Melican did with their payment, you know, or if they go through their PTO. I don't know.
We've been working with all the schools to transition them to the online payment, just because it's cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah, from a accounting and auditing perspective, it's much easier for us internally. There's a lot less people power that we need to try to.
Collect checks, track them, make sure they get to central office. So
it's easier to funnel it.
This is a huge benefit for us as a district in terms of management.
Yeah. All right.
Is this one night?
2 nights. It said. It said 3 days, 2 nights.
Did it mention? I was going to suggest, just based on our experience in the fall, that they do it at the end of the week if they're. It doesn't. I didn't see specific days either.
Yeah, and I don't know. Do they split it up into 2 different groups?
If they do, I would say try to do Wednesday to Friday, both
because
on 2
it's
different weeks. Because I know there were.
I think one of the next steps is approval and then securing the dates, so I can pass that feedback along. And I believe because it's two grade level 2 classrooms, because it's small, so I think
It's
it's.
small, and it's only, I gotta believe it's only one, yeah. I think it is actually, later in the week, because I feel like there was a,
I didn't see any specific days.
no, but I think, there wasn't any in here, but I'm having flashes to somebody I talked to, and we were scheduling a meeting at the end of the week, and they were saying something about nature's classroom. But I could be thinking something else, I don't know. But, okay, sorry.
I can make a motion.
Okay.
I'd like to move to approve Peaslee School's 5th grade trip to Nature's Classroom in Charlton, Massachusetts in the spring of 2025.
Second.
Motion by Lauren, seconded by Kristen. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Joan?
Yes.
Bryce?
Yes.
Kristen?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
Myself is a yes. Have fun, Peaslee. Congratulations. No policy development. Personnel items, we have distribution of personnel report.
Just a couple notes again, retirements, so we'll spend time this spring really acknowledging those who've contributed so much to the students in our district. I just want to note that Dave Anastas, assistant head custodian here at Melican Middle School, will be retiring effective March 15th. And we will be inviting him to the April school committee meeting to recognize him and wish him well in his encore career, whatever that might be.
So are we gonna do a meeting for him in April? Because could we recognize the other, because didn't Julie?
Yeah, so Julie, so there's Julie and Rhoda.
Yeah.
I was gonna have Julie and Rhoda.
Will they come to the June one?
Yeah.
Or, okay, because I didn't know, and then
There's a
I
lot of
know. We have a lot of retirees coming up, but I know we had some that have already
Maybe-
left. Maybe we do one in April for the ones who've already come,
Yeah.
Mrs. Mack, I
We
know.
could even do April, May, and June, we could spread it out.
Yeah.
Because it's 3 cakes.
3 cakes. Well, that's what I feel like. Maybe cookies one, maybe a charcuterie board another, cake, or could be fun. Could be fun. Nice spring, you know. Alrighty. No communications at the Times. Action on open minutes. The open meeting minutes of February 7th.
Bryce, want to take it? You've been quiet tonight.
No, it's okay. I just had to restart, so please.
Sure.
Go ahead.
I'll move to approve the open meeting minutes of February 7th, 2024.
Second.
Motioned by Lauren, seconded by Bryce. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. Joan?
Yes.
Bryce?
Yes.
Kristen?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
And myself is a yes. Passes unanimous. Okay, future agenda items, we just talked about a retiree. Retiree recognition.
And when you had stepped away, I think, to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah,
Joan
what
had
did-
just mentioned that Health Coalition report she
Yeah.
was mentioning, and just learning a little bit more about who was part of it, and sort of connected with Mary Ellen and Jennifer Lipton comment about that.
Okay. Joan?
And also for next month, assigning the warrant articles to be read at the town meeting.
Yep. Thank you.
Also, the ELA presentation from Megan Kelty.
Okay.
And at some point, I would love to meet the new town administrator.
Yeah.
That would be really great, even just to invite him to one of our meetings and just say, hi, nice to meet you. And he doesn't have to stay for the
That's a
whole
great
meeting.
idea.
But that would be great to meet him. Mr. McHenry, right?
McInerney.
McInerney.
Okay.
We'll all get it.
Yep. Jim. It's just, we're a casual group here.
Yes.
You know. All righty. Approval of bills and payrolls, we're up to date tomorrow. I have on my calendar.
Yeah, it should be coming out probably
tomorrow or Friday.
Right, yeah.
She's trying to wrap things
Oh, yeah,
up.
tomorrow, it's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
this week.
Not quite yet.
Yeah, this week. I knew it was this week. Right. I have in my calendar, it's standard like every other week, like, because I know like things are coming, just to like remind me, check, don't forget. Yeah.
I had a couple potential agenda items.
Yeah.
or maybe speaking of town stuff, I was wondering if there was a plan to sort of get the word out about the articles for town meeting and get people to show up at town meeting, or maybe that would be a discussion next month if we wanted to brainstorm to make sure there are people to vote for the schools.
Yeah. I know,
And
because we don't have a Gonkplex, you know, we might not have that much.
well,
parents.
that and the big conversations going around are the firehouse, right, as mentioned before, which that number,
Is it?
oh boy. So I'm a little afraid that people are just not gonna wanna spend, or not, so I just wanna make sure we have a friendly audience and supporters in the audience rather than people who are
Yeah.
just angry about the amount of money that we're talking about spending. Yeah.
So, upon approval this evening, my goal is in the next month to do some communications, like here are the warrant articles, here's information about it.
Right.
In
Yeah.
the communications, we send out, principals send out, to spread the word.
Right, because it's difficult for parents especially to get to a town meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, are we gonna do the childcare thing again, do you know?
I haven't really had a lot of conversation.
I don't know how it turned out. I mean, Keith, we can follow up with Keith maybe about it and see how it turned out last year. I
Our
don't
kids
know.
loved it.
What was that?
Our kids loved it.
Did you,
Yeah.
was it a good turnout, like a good?
I have 20, maybe 30, I don't know that it was massive, but I
Yeah.
think there was a decent amount of kids there.
That would be a great thing if they could keep it going every year,
Yeah.
honestly, even just allows more people
Yeah.
to go to town meeting.
Regardless of the articles, whether
Right.
it's school related
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can, we can touch base with Keith tomorrow and see if, or the recreation department. I think the recreation department led it last year and
That sounds right.
helped. And
I think
NEDP.
they-
NEDP.
NEDP, I was gonna say NEDP, yeah.
There's also high school students who would probably do for service hours, because we do that for our LPAC meetings. And so it could be if NEDP ran it, they could also get high school students to participate, I bet.
Great. I think the unfortunate thing about town meeting, even if we are providing childcare, it's late at night, so it's like you're asking the little kids, you're pulling them
Depends
out
how,
of the
yeah,
pit.
depends how long it goes and takes to get to the warrant.
And to get to the articles
Yeah.
that you're there for,
But it at least gave both Rachel and I a chance to sit together and listen. Like
Yeah.
it was so even
for
though-
at least an hour or two.
Yes, we
like-
didn't get to stay the whole night, but like at least for a couple hours, we were both there listening to what was happening.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So I had immense value for us.
Yeah.
I will follow up with Keith tomorrow.
Great. The other possible future agenda item, or just question I had, was about the LSS crossing in the Lincoln Street School. I know that came up at the safety meeting,
Yes.
safety committee meeting
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, but unfortunately I couldn't sign on early enough to catch that part. But it is dangerous.
So the signs are fixed, they're flashing, and I think the DPW will also be installing a more
I think it's the push,
impactful,
the
like,
push button,
flashlights
like the
closer-
135.
Closer to the.
Oh, they're installing that.
Yep,
That would
that's
be
in the
good.
next probably 6 weeks, and then I
They
believe,
said in the springtime, I think they.
I believe we just hired a crossing guard.
Oh, we did, okay, because, there's literally the cars trying to go around stopped cars and leaving kids, like, people are just not paying attention, and people fly down that road anyway all the time. But do you know when the new crossing guard starts?
I just signed the person's paperwork, so hopefully shortly.
Hopefully make a lot of parents happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had a couple heart attacks myself, and I don't usually do drop-off, but I heard a lot of other stories.
Yeah. I tuned into the safety meeting that you were talking about, and they said that they were putting 6 throughout town, I feel like they were saying. And I think they were saying like 3 of them were going to go like pretty much like on Lincoln Street,
Mhm.
like
Those two
around,
schools.
yeah, around Lincoln Street School, and then down by Melican. They were going to put something, and they have to wait until the spring because of the ground and the thawing, because not only is it just like a light to press the button, but it's also, you have to put the handicap ramps in, so there's concrete type work that goes in with it.
Right.
It's like a full like package type thing, so.
If it is a little while until the crossing guard starts, I don't know what the start date or whatever, is it possible to have someone from the town, DPW,
Well, the
fire,
police,
police?
the
on
policeman
there?
was on, the new chief was on the call.
He was on the
And,
Zoom
and,
call, yeah.
and they did ask if he could have more detail there, but I don't know what came of that.
I can reach
Yeah,
out to
there
Jen
isn't anyone
Callahan
down
tomorrow
there.
and make sure that, even a staff member, we'll try to do as much as we can until we get this crossing guard.
Right.
I'll also find out exactly when the person is starting in that role.
Yeah, right, and even if, there's a patrol officer who's
Starting
driving
Monday.
around.
She's starting Monday.
Oh, that's good, but yeah, even if maybe, I guess a staff member, or if they have a patrol, patrol officer who can stop by
Just
between
slow down the
8:35
tra-
and
yeah.
8:50.
Yes.
They are there sometimes, because they stop by, but if they can be there the next couple of days doing the crossing guards, that would help.
I can
Like I
ask.
said, there's people who blow right through that when kids are in the crosswalk. Or go around a car that stopped with kids in the crosswalk, and,
I think they get in the habit of doing that because at Melican particularly, for, it's not so much a drop off in the morning, but pick up in the afternoons, the cars are backed out onto the street, so the people who are waiting to get into the parking lot kind of go to the side so that the traffic can still be somewhat flowing.
Right. But yeah,
But
the
it's-
kids get out and then they're walking, the line is still
Uh-huh.
right back there, yep.
No, it's a
absolutely.
very, scary.
I've noticed the cars at Lincoln Street have been better about getting onto the school side. You used to have the backup on both sides. And
Yes.
it was
They would
quite
park
worky, yeah.
on the other side.
Right.
Kids would cross and get in the
Yeah.
cars to avoid their pickup line.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the cars used to stop and then try and take a left into Lincoln Street, and then you literally have a line going this way and a line going that way, and people trying to get by would be driving on the wrong side of the road for a while before they got onto the right side of the road to try
Yeah.
to get by. And-
Proctor's is kind of crazy because it's a narrow street.
Yeah.
And so if people try to come down one direction,
Yeah.
and then they're blocked on this direction, so then if you're not trying to get to the school, if you're just trying to drive down the street, you have to go on to the opposite side of the road
Right,
to
right.
go through. So, I mean, I've said for years, like, I would love the town to turn that street into like a one-way only during certain hours.
Mhm.
You see that in other towns. I've seen that around schools and stuff,
Yeah.
to help with the traffic flow and things like that, but.
I will say the cars on Oak Street, with the exception of about 2 of them, they all live on Oak Street in that neighborhood. I might be a wimp when it gets down to 10 degrees and I drive down my road. Or when there's ice too, it's actually very dangerous to go down my road that's very thin and has multiple hills, and I know all my neighbors do the same thing. So you see like 5 cars come to the end of Oak and then like 5 cars go back up Oak at, pick up, drop off time. There are a couple who don't live in that neighborhood, but mostly it's all us parents. There are a lot of walkers at Lincoln Street. There's a large gaggle of them that come out, yeah.
Which is great.
Right,
Just making
yeah.
sure they're safe.
Yeah.
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 All right, so we got a lot of things for the future. Audience sharing? Any hands? Nope. All righty. No other business, so I will, our next meeting, we have a combined meeting next Wednesday, and that is going to be at the high school at 5:30. And then our next school committee meeting here will be Wednesday, April 3rd. So, a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Lauren, seconded by Kristen. Discussion? No. Joan?
Yes.
Bryce?
Yes.
Kristen?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
And myself as a yes. We are adjourned at 8:24.